W.E.B. Du Bois. Now, if you,
we disagree, yes, and we can move on.
Well, we can move on. But
I said what I said, and I must keep saying it. And we disagree. We have to show the people that that's okay. I'm not going to feel how you feel. You're not going to feel how I feel. We both expressed our opinions academically and intellectually. I think it's time to start reading.
You're not going to disrespect.
You said you wanted to honor Sarah and the purpose of the segment. But let's do the segment justice and give the people what they need for the segment. If they want to have something later, we can agree to that. But right now, we have a certain amount of time. We've went into the spy. We disagree. Let's keep it intellectual and academic and give the people something from the book. If you'd be so kind, sir. Do we have anybody on the line who wants to take a call? We can also take some callers.
Yeah, that's good. Let's take a couple calls first.
And see what the people want to talk about. And we can go by the listeners. So the point was, listeners, if you're just tuning in, have the year Du Bois, you have Brother Mo on the line. We're talking about agreeing to disagree without being disagreeable and not being in our emotions.
But we're also talking about not taking cheap shots,
which is a matter of opinion.
Disrespecting. Well, I am. I'm the one talking. And that's what we're talking about also.
Bruh. Mo's on the line. Let's not be emotional. We got the perfect person on the line to sober the conversation. Brother Mo, cheap shot is what you think it is. Some people saying stating facts. Agree to disagree. Brother Mo, thank you for waking up with WURD.
Yeah, good morning.
Thank you, Mo, for being on the line.
The question I have to ask is this. This goes to show you here, we trying to compare Amoroso to W. Du Bois.
No, I wouldn't take it that far, but okay. Agree, disagree again.
No, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Just yesterday, and we got more important things to worry about. Yesterday, 3 generations of black people could have wiped out a 95-year-old grandmother, a granddaughter, a great-granddaughter.
Yes, sir.
Could have been killed because idiots out in the street shooting haphazard. But see, we don't have time for this nonsense.
You're right.
Dr. Montero is on there
to read
about Du Bois. How can you compare her to Du Bois or any black person? You can't do that, brother.
Well, you're right. Let's get to that reading. I concede the point, Brother Mo.
Okay.
I take the correction from my elder, and I'm going to move to start reading. I take what you said directly. You're right.
Okay. And Dr. Montero, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If you don't mind answering.
Please do.
Okay. What was the circumstance of you losing your job up at Temple?
You're gonna say I can't bring up things that don't deal with them reading, but then you're gonna bring up stuff that don't deal with the reading. So you just want to replace my stuff that don't deal with it with your stuff.
No, it has a lot to do with everything. Now you brought it up.
I brought that up too.
We're gonna dance.
Wait, I brought that. Wait. Now y'all, it's off the rails, Mo. Mo is off the rails. You censured me as an elder. I said I concede your point. We need to get to the business of reading. Then as soon as I concede the point, you pivot off the reading even further than I was. At least I had Du Bois in my conversation.
No, but you brought it up.
I brought what? Wait, what I bring up, Mo?
You brought up this whole thing about divorce and being.
And you corrected me and checked me, and I conceded, Mo. Okay, I said that's wrong to go off of the track. But then you go off the track?
No, I just asked him a simple question.
But if I can't ask him a simple question without being checked, I got to check you back, brother. I got to check you back. We gonna stick to the reading. Same way you told me we should stick to the reading.
Okay.
Then I appreciate your call. Y'all ain't gonna tell me to stick to the reading. I'm gonna concede and basically apologize on the air to Mo and then be like, well, let me get off the reading. No, we're not gonna do both, bro. One or the other. Either I can bring in Amorosa or you can bring in Temple, or we not doing yours and not mine. That we not gonna do. So we could take another call, or Dr. Anthony Mateo could read.
Take another call.
Is this? I'm sorry, I have the names. Chris from Southwest.
Yes.
We'll keep the phone line today.
Yes, my response is I appreciate Dr. Montero and yourself, Reverend Professor. My question is just this. Keeping in mind that we're dealing with different eras when we are talking about circumstances. The circumstances back when Du Bois was there and the circumstances of today, right, plays a part in our questions and our answers, I think, in terms of what was the conditions and the circumstances why an individual like Du Bois had to do what he had to do, and what's the circumstances for Amoroso, what she had to do in 2018. And keeping that in sight in terms of understanding there were different circumstances. There was restrictions put on Du Bois that wasn't and isn't put on Amoroso.
Thank you for your call.
You're welcome.
So usually when we bring up topics, go ahead. You got it.
Go ahead, Aaron. No, it's very
I'm
interesting.
here all week. You got it.
Yeah, it's very interesting because what she said is correct. Just to quote, pull out a fact out of historical context is bad faith. What she's saying is, what is the context? What did he see himself doing at that time? How did he understand World War I? He had already written by the time that he took the captaincy in the U.S. Army. He had already written a famous essay entitled The African Roots of the War. Why did he oppose the German war effort or German imperialism in Africa? And how did he see the Wilson administration? And how was that related to the Berlin Conference of 1884-85?
Was it connected to his funders at all?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was not connected to his funders.
Okay.
Yeah. But then what about this context, this historical context? Are you uninterested in that?
I'm very interested in it.
Well, that's what you should bring up when you bring up a fact. And I think
that's why I said the funders.
I think what this caller said is very, very important. What were the circumstances of that time, and what was Du Bois responding to, and what else was he doing? Was he public about what he was doing? What is a spy, in fact? And so that's what I am bringing to your attention. Otherwise, you're just taking cheap shots in the name of bringing up facts.
You'll be reading from what today? After the break, because we just agree to disagree.
Well, that's all right to disagree.
I know. That's why I just want y'all to know.
But you're the one who said
I don't think it's a cheap shot. I think who funded him is relevant.
This is Ronald Clark from Moravia Health. Moravia Health Home Care Service are an excellent option for individuals who need medical attention or even non-medical assistance with daily activities, but would rather receive this care in the comfort of their own homes. Make this change today. Come and experience Moravia Health for yourself. Call Moravia Health at 215-717-8650 or visit moraviahealth.com. Moravia Health, because there's no place like home.
The recent election for Alabama's Senate seat should show us the potential of our participation. In Alabama, where they haven't elected a Democrat statewide in nearly 2 decades, the unexpected occurred because the African American community came out to vote in game-changing numbers. The African American community had something to vote for. They had a chance to support a candidate who prosecuted Klan members for their role in the historic 1963 bombing of the 16th Street Baptist Church, in which 4 black girls were killed. African Americans also had an opportunity to vote against a candidate who appeared to be just another good old boy at best and a perpetrator of the worst kind of sex crimes at worst. But this election also stood as a strong indication that African Americans will no longer be neglected, our issues no longer ignored. They sent the strongest signal by one simple act. They voted. They took the one action that levels the playing field. One person, one vote. They engaged in an activity that those before us have sacrificed and died for, and it worked. As we prepare for the November 2018 general election, we're encouraging you to register and ready your voice to be heard.
This message has been brought to you by the Laborers District Council PAC Fund.
Leo's is a one-stop shop from head to toe for men and boys, featuring a summer sale with 2-piece designer suits for $99 off. The second suit of the same item for 50% off. Leo's has the largest shoe, hat, and cap collection in North Philadelphia, and the largest inventory of sandals and Stacey Adams shoes for men and boys. Check out our boys department with designer suits 50% off. 2 locations, Tommy's, 2917 North 22nd Street, and Leo's, 2705 Germantown Avenue. celebrating 15 years as the voice of the community. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM WURD and 900 AM WURD, Philadelphia, and the Black Talk Media. You're listening to Wake Up with WURD on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent Black Media.
900 AM, 96.1 FM, WURD. Let me do some housekeeping. I didn't push the button, so I just want to make sure.
I pushed the button.
So y'all understand.
I did push the button.
I want to make sure y'all understand where I'm coming from. The reason why I said to Anthony today, I said, we know some people have emotional attachments to historical figures, like I did to Frederick Douglass. I know what my first response was when people started coming at Frederick Douglass. So I know how people get when you talk about their people. I disagree with Dr. Montero, and that's fine. That's what I was trying to say in the beginning. And I'm going to keep saying what I say. But I don't want it to devolve, like the callers start asking other questions and being messy, and people start huffing and puffing, getting emotional. Y'all know I don't do that. That's why I was largely quiet for the last segment. If we're going to read, we read. If we go to the callers, we go to the callers. But the point is, there's a different standard by which we have judged some of these contemporary figures than we do figures who we have affinities for in the past. It's been evidenced by the last 100 calls and the multiple comments, even the last 2 times we've had this segment when we talked about Omarosa and others. There's a difference. And if you don't want to concede that, we agree to disagree, and that's fine. But I hold fast to the reality that it's a little hypocritical. If we're going to pick one time somebody did something questionable and make that their personality, we need to be more consistent and keep that same energy.
But Aaron, can I just interrupt you, please?
You could take it for the rest of the show.
No, I don't want to take the show.
This is your segment.
No, it's your segment as well. But listen, I have not weighed in publicly on Omarosa. I have not. So don't say that I am using a double standard, because you're not talking to me. Okay, you're talking to other people.
General. Okay, Lulu from Mayfair. Okay. We're going to let y'all the listeners, it's fall for the listeners. Thank you, Lulu, for waking up with WURD. Or maybe not.
Good morning.
Oh, you are there. Thank you, Lulu, for waking up with WURD.
Okay, I'm taking myself off the speaker.
And we appreciate you for that.
Okay.
No speaker phones, please.
Both of you doctors, and both of you are well needed.
You are very fuzzy, Lulu. I will put you on hold. Maybe we can get together, but we'll go to Marvin from South Philly.
Yes. Good morning, both of you brothers.
Good morning.
Good morning. I gotta say, I'm a little hurt by what just happened. This experience this past, half an hour.
Me too, brother. And I apologize for any part I played, because I do not like the emotional, I do not like the non-constructive, and I do not like what doesn't give the listeners information that benefits them.
Okay. I'm going to complete what I want to say, please, sir.
My apologies. I just wanted to give my apologies.
It doesn't matter who's right or wrong at this point, What matters is the fact that this was aired like this on a black radio station, something that we talk about trying to unite and be together. Like Brother Mo, kind of brought up, it was trying, I think, bring up a point that there's too much other crap going on in the world right now than to waste a half an hour on the debate about who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes you got to put the egos aside, put the emotions aside. We got to deal with some other problems right now.
Yeah,
I want to hear, hold on, sir.
Go ahead, you got it.
I want to hear something about Kofi Annan. We talked about Aretha Franklin, but nobody really talked about the brother Kofi Annan since he's passed. It's like his past is winning. This brother was heavy. He was deep. He was a world leader.
I reported it.
I'm not saying you did it, but I'm talking about on the world. I'm talking about a half hour. I'm talking about some kind of the history of this brother here.
Oh yes,
now,
you're right.
We got you two arguing about some mess wasting a half an hour. I wanted to hear, but I looked at this segment to hear about Du Bois. Okay, everybody has right and wrong. That's the case, so let it be. But what I'm saying is, it shouldn't be aired publicly as it was. I'm feeling sorry for the Sister Queen Khaleesi having to probably sit there and deal with this, not wanting to get in the middle. It's a bad look, is my point.
You're right, brother.
Bad look.
You're right.
It's a bad look, and we better than this.
All right, brother. You got to take some other. You're right, brother. You're right. I think the clock said 9:34 when I said let's get to the reading. I purposely, on numerous occasions, this tape will be replayed. And you're going to hear me say, let's get to the reading. I said the people called to hear Du Bois. They called to hear the reading. And you're going to hear me say numerous times, let's get to the reading. So I conceded, brother, but I don't want to overdo the concession and act as though I didn't try to do the exact same thing you said to do.
Aaron, could I just...
Let's do...
And I apologize, Brother Marvin, if I offended you in any way, but I think you can understand that I did have, a feeling. I wasn't emotional about it.
Passionate. Let's say passionate.
But just to
That's
correct...
what I say from me.
To attempt to correct the record, I wasn't going to respond because it hadn't been said to me. It had been said at other times by Aaron, and so I was saying that he was not, and I felt that Aaron was not acting in good faith towards the audience by not giving a historical context. And that's all. But I apologize if I offended you, my brother.
Lulu from Mayfair. Heard the phone is working.
Both of you, both doctors. I appreciate you, Dr. Aaron. But I just can't understand why we're throwing all our generals under the bus for Omarosa. She's just an entrepreneur and a businesswoman who's on her way to the bank as we speak. Yes, nobody should hate anyone because when you do the history of black people, we all done cooning. This is how we survived through the centuries. But the day of the cooning has to stop because it's holding us as the people back. And we're at war. We cannot keep showing people the holes in our shields and the broken walls and things like that. But I love your debate and what's going on, sir, and you continue. And God bless you, the both of you.
Thank you so much, Lulu, from Mayfair. And hopefully, even through the friction, we can come to a place where the community is edified. Even in the cautionary tales of how not to proceed, we can all say that we grew from, and don't say the last half hour. Brother said the whole half hour. We only been talking for about 12 minutes at the point where he said a half hour. I just want to, people, they want to correct the record. Listen, he said the last half hour, y'all was arguing 10 minutes.
Well, and we weren't really arguing.
We did too much, and we conceded that, and we both apologized to the listeners.
But it's okay.
But it was only 10 minutes.
But I think it's okay for me to express to you that I disagree with you.
And me to say I disagree too.
Say that you just,
and I'm going to keep saying what I'm saying, you'll keep saying what you're saying.
Say that if you wish, again, I'll say, if you wish to relitigate the Du Bois Marcus Garvey, hold it, wait a minute, Aaron, we can do it, but not here.
But I wasn't even talking. Okay. I was just looking like I obviously said I didn't want to do that. And this is the thing. In the street, we say we don't repeat ourselves. I done said I don't want to do it. And then when you said it the second time, I was like, I looked at you the first time. I was like, I said I didn't want to do it because that's not what my intention was, to have some debate litigation. Because to me, that's what Mo was talking.
The audience has to see your facial expression to know my responses.
But I told you on the mic a couple times.
It's okay. It's okay.
This is my third time when they
talking
take
about
back.
Emotion.
This is my third time.
Okay, but go ahead.
Marvin from South Philly. No, Melvin? Am I saying it wrong? Marie.
Oh, Marie.
Okay.
It's Marie on?
Yes, Marie from Albany. Thank you for waking up with WURD.
Yes. I appreciate you for bringing out facts. I love facts. And bringing facts to the fore that perhaps weren't generally known. I appreciate the writings of W.E.B. Du Bois. Oh, yeah. But another thing is there's a constant juxtaposition also of Du Bois against the founder of Tuskegee. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate the founder of Tuskegee. Right. They seem to put him down. What is his name again? I forget.
Booker T. Washington.
Yes. And I appreciate the fact that this man created an institution which still exists. It's on the National Historic Register. Mm-hmm. He helped to create a black middle class that started then and continues now. And that is a fact. And I appreciate him. And I don't appreciate them putting him down in juxtaposition to W.E.B. Du Bois.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's so interesting what you're just saying. And part of the year of Du Bois, of which we've been involved in, it's his 150th birthday, is to explore these great debates that have taken place within the African American community. And these are debates and discussions and so on of great significance even up till this day. And you're right, you can choose Du Bois, or you can choose Booker T. Washington, or you can take something from each of them, synthesize it, and see how it applies today. But I agree with you, Marie, that we have to learn from the past.
Frank from Cobb's Creek, thank you for waking up with Word, Frank.
Yes, some things can be taken out of context, and I think that the issue with Du Bois and the spy may have been taken out of context. But I met the closest I ever came to the founder, and I spoke with his wife, and he said, you should listen to what this gentleman has to say. And so I'm hoping that WURD, they had I think the leader of they had a discussion on the vote. And how can you have a discussion on the vote, NACP or whatever it is, without bringing up the fact that we weren't allowed to vote? And I told you to find that. So I would listen to Mr. Lomax and listen to what I have to say, and stop running from the issue that we
won't run from you again today, Frank. We won't run from you, but we do got to wrap up this show, Frank. Please don't think I'm running from you. Please don't call me emotional tomorrow, fussing, and because y'all know I'm going to be on here tomorrow talking about Du Bois putting Joe Spingard in charge. I'm going to talk about Ida B. Wells and Niagara Movement. I'm going to talk about the opening of the mail. I'm going to talk about Julius Rosenwald. I'm going to trace the money, and I'm going to talk about it all. I'm going to maintain my position definitively. And to me, once you work with them people, you one of them people, because I'm from the block, and that makes you a spy, agent, asset, whatever. Dr. Montero feels differently. That's why I'm going to let him close out the show.
Well, thank you, Aaron, with your emotional ending.
That was emotional?
Oh, you're very emotional.
Oh, you must not listen to me a lot.
Hey, listen, man.
On a scale of 1 to Aaron, that was about it too, Doctor.
I think you should take your own advice and be more calm. But,
And you was talking about cheap shots. Shade. Shots. Shade. I'll call you Tony right now.
That's good.
You took the doctor off.
I appreciate
he went Tony on
that.
me.
I appreciate that.
What's that? That's Meek Mill's, right? Tony's story. But no, seriously, we disagree, and that's fine.
No, but and again, this is the year of Du Bois, and I really do thank Sarah Lomax Reese.
Great segment.
For having the brilliance and the courage to allow Du Bois to be read, and the confidence in people, even people who don't read books because they don't have time to read books, to hear great literature read over the air. And this could not be done anywhere in this city but here. And that's why I believe, and I say this to the listeners and to you, that it should be done with the highest respect, with the highest amount of integrity. And we have to respect Du Bois for what he achieved. In fact, the very idea of African American studies, of modern history, of sociology, these disciplines that we study and get PhDs in the academy, would not exist.
That's
as
right.
They do hold it without Du Bois.
We thank y'all for waking up with words, y'all.
Then I look at you, and the world's all right with